What's up, people? I am back for another video. Today we're reviewing How to Train Your Dragon 2. Sorry, I haven't done a video in a few days. I don't want to get to this one, it just shit came up. But to me, I actually am really enjoying these movies and the character growth in them. And to me, I really am like, I wish I saw these in theaters. I kind of regret not seeing them in theaters at the time. And the second one to me so far is one of the cases where I think it's a bit better than the first. I think I love the build up, and it's one of the cases where a sequel builds, but it also does more. The characters grow, so it's like Beverly Hills Cop 2. I love the first one, but to me, something about the second one that one of the reasons I watch it more is just because like Taggart and Rosewood already have that rapport with Axel, so it works better for me instead of having that. It's the same thing here. Astrid's a couple with Hiccup, and their relationship is well done. And Astrid grew as a character for me. It just took a movie, but she's not just the tough chick, And I kind of wish they showed this a little bit more in the first one. You could have shown that side a bit more, and I wish then I could have grown on her a bit. But I get it. You wanted to build, and maybe you wanted that image of the tough chick, and you wanted the image of the tough chick, and you thought that would work better. But um for me, and this is gonna be a different angle, guys, this is a front facing camera. Tell me what you guys think. I might not do this again. I just figured I wanted to try this out. But so if it looks weird, that's why it's the front facing camera instead of the normal back camera I normally do. um but the villain was pretty good. Yeah. Draga was a solid villain. He wants to collect all the dragons. I love the moment. Stoic's death was well done. I thought I was gonna hate it. I'll be honest. I didn't know going in it was gonna happen, but hitting it at first, I was like, okay, I feel like I'm gonna hate it. But because he was one of my favorite parts of the second movie, even of the first movie, but it was well done. And the way it was obviously done too, because you got to have some kind of conflict between Hiccup and Toothless, so that's what it was. And then obviously Toothless eventually for a little bit gets under Drago's control. And I love the different, that's the other reason I think I love this movie too, the different dragons and the growth of the different types of dragons we see. Because in the first one you saw a variety of dragons, but the second one very much expanded on it. I love how they're integrated in the world of Berk. And and we meet Hiccup's mother, Volka. She's a very good character. I was low-key worried for a second that they're gonna have her be bad or something. I was like, oh, they're gonna pull the rug under us and she's gonna be bad. Because I want to be honest, that would have been lame. But no, she was good. And happy they didn't kill her off either. Like, I think that was smart. And the scene where Stoic sees her for the first time is very well done. And yeah, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is a solid sequel. Like, I really think they nailed it in the. Hold on, let me move this shit up a bit more. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, I really think what makes a good sequel, this really delivers. You gotta expand on the story, the growth of the characters, the relationship between Gobber. You get more Gobber moments, and just how the world of Bert too. Not just like you get it's that little village, the entire world, and Drago and how he has history with Stoic, and the moment where Toothless he kind of basically levels up and gets more powerful in the end. I love the big bad dragon was pretty cool. And yeah, man, and Volka's dragon's another one. So you get a big bad dragon fight in the end, and final fight's good. And yeah, I would probably give this movie a 8.5. I would 9 out of 10. I'll say I'll give it 9 out of 10. Like a legit 9 out of 10, not a cow man 9 out of 10. But I definitely very much enjoyed this one. Actually, never mind. But yeah, guys, I really like this one, and I'm happy I decided to get into these movies. So the schedule this week will be: I'm doing this video today. Tomorrow I am reviewing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, and I'm actually pretty anticipating that one. I kind of want to start getting to doing the Christmas movies. So the idea for what I'm going to do for Christmas movies, I looked into some like newer horror ones because I'm gonna be honest, I think I've did a lot of the big ones like Silent Night, Deadly Night, Black Christmas, even like some of the joke ones like Jack Frost and fucking Santa's Sleigh. It's like, even Terrifier 3, even though it didn't come out in Christmas, I've already reviewed that. And I'm just gonna say I wasn't gonna wait 2 months just to review it on Christmas. So, um, I did a lot of the big ones. So honestly, I feel like it's a good idea to just do the new do some new ones. So there's one called P2, which is one I've heard about but I've never seen. The concept is this girl goes to a Christmas party, gets kidnapped by basically an obsessive like security guard, and she tries to get out and she has to try to escape, and he's gonna try to kill her before he escapes. So I'm gonna do that one. There's a Silent Night one. It's one of the later sequels, but it's not necessarily tied to the original. It's like a reboot almost, called just Silent Night. So I might do that one. And I think there's another one. If it doesn't come to me, I'll mention it in another video. I'll look it up and stuff, because I think there was another one I wanted to do. But those are the two I remember. And so I'll probably be starting those next week. But tomorrow, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Wednesday, we'll be doing a movie called The Invisible Raptor. I cannot believe this is a fucking film. This is an actual movie. Somehow this was made. I I have no words. It's insane to me. It I think it's if it's just dumb bad fun and I can just get high and drunk and watch it and have fun with it, then you know what? It could be a win. So I'll check that out. And plus, Return of Bad Movie Wednesday is a perfect example. It's a perfect Bad Movie Wednesday. Oh, speaking of which, another one we'll be doing is going to be doing a movie called Santa with Muscles with Hulk Hogan. I don't know when I'm doing that yet. That'll be sometime this month. So that'll be another, I guess, Christmas movie to add to the list I'm going to be doing this month. I don't think it'll be good, but yeah. And maybe I'll do like a list of my favorite Christmas movies, like closer to Christmas and stuff, and Christmas horror. So maybe I'll do two Christmas lists. Christmas, like just, I'll include the Christmas horror in the Christmas list, but I might just do straight up just Christmas horror on its own, like maybe top five or something. Um, and Thursday we'll be doing How to Train Your Dragon 3, the final of the trilogy. So heard that one's also pretty good too. So it delivers as a trilogy. So I'm gonna check that out. And then Friday, oh man, I'm not gonna lie, guys. I am not looking forward to fucking Superman Returns on Friday. That is gonna be a shit show. That is to me one of the worst DC movies for me up until probably Wonder Woman 84. I fucking hate Superman Returns. I like Brandon Routh. I thought he got fucked over. Because there's so much fucking blue. But and I really was frustrated because I liked it as a kid, because it was a Superman movie. It wasn't like um it was just a Superman movie coming out. So I was just kind of excited. I wasn't as like uber critical as a kid. So it's like I can accept it, but man, it is not a good movie. Trying to retread Christopher Reeve and doing all that didn't work, and I want to go more into it on Friday, but so at least next week we got Man of Steel. So we got a good Superman movie. And I'm thinking about doing some of the animated Superman movies, because there was like a Death of Superman animated movie. Maybe we'll do that one. I'm going to look and see if there's more, because I think there's like another Superman one. I just can't think of it right now. I know there's Reign of the Superman and some of the more New 52 ones. I don't think I'm going to do those. I don't hate New 52 like a lot of a lot of DC fans despise New 52. Like, they fucking hate it. But I don't hate it as much as others, but I don't love what they did with Superman, and I don't love that costume. I'm just gonna keep it real. I don't love that costume. I think Man of Steel, the movie, is kind of what that costume should have been. It's like a modernish take on Superman, but it still had that Superman identity. Whereas, like, I don't love the new 52 design, but I'll look and see if there's more. So, but anyways, let's get into How to Train Your Dragon 2. So I love the intro of the movie where you just see like how the dragons are, integrated, how the different kids, and you even actually have an introduction of different kids too, which I like. Um, and it's taken a couple years out of the first one, and still, Hiccup is now like a hero to the town, which is good to see. He's not, that's one of the other reasons I love the first one, but I kind of like the second more because Hiccup's just a hero in the town, and he's like part of it. You don't have the growing pains, which is good to watch when you eventually. I'm not gonna. I'm still gonna watch the first one. And if the third one's good, I'll go through all three. But one thing is I do sometimes with sequels. I still watch the first Beverly Hills Cop, but I definitely watch two more because I love that like growth, and I think it maybe the same situation happens here. I'll still definitely watch the first one because I do love that first How to Train Your Dragon. Um, and this is where we meet a group of dragon trappers, which we introduced the leader, Eric, who he kind of starts off as an antagonist. The trope starts off an antagonist and becomes a villain. I actually grew to like him. I love his introduction. He doesn't seem like a bad guy because he even talks about how he's tortured by Drago, that he's almost forced into it. So they kind of even know that obvious, leads you to believe that he's gonna turn. It's just a case of he's forced to do this, and this is what he feels like he has to do. And I really love how, um, just the dynamic between the group, like Astrid, Hiccup, hold on, Snotlot, Fish Legs, Tough Nut, like some of the newer characters in like I guess you want to say the kid group of this world. I really like, because I think it also captures that kid feeling, that inner kid in you. Even if you're an adult, like you can enjoy this world as a kid. But I also really love too, just like I said, the expansion of dragons, the different looks we get of dragons in this movie, and I really thought it was well needed because because that's the one thing. Like I said, I always go back. What a good sequel does is it expands the world, it expands the creatures. One of the reasons I love Lost World Jurassic Park, it expands the world of Jurassic Park, or Superman 2 expands the world versions of Superman, or Terminator 2 obviously is a perfect example of, like, that's probably, to me, if you think of perfect sequel, that is one. Aliens, another one, because it expands the world of both Alien and Terminator, because you gotta, that's what a perfect Predator 2. And I think that's what this does. You get different types of creatures. Predator 2, you see different types of predators. In this, you get different types of dragons. And it shows, Drago has his own fucking dragon, which looks pretty cool. And it's like a sea dragon, which I really love. And I love the designs. And you could tell there was creativity put into it, And once again, I really like that it didn't have that kitty because there was some animated movies that got really kind of kitty for me. That was part of the reason, I'll just be honest, why I kind of stopped watching some animated movies. But I really felt like this time around, it really didn't feel like I was just watching a kid movie. A kiddie movie. Like it dealt with real themes. I mean, obviously Stoic's death and Hiccup, the the moment, where he had the funeral, and the moment he had his father before, he died, and when he died, he had to almost like release him in a way. That scene hits, and I don't blame people who cried at that scene. It does hit, and I really think that this would have been good in the theater, and I really want to punch myself for not seeing it in theaters, but you know. So Hiccup mentions, what happened to his father, about what happened, with the trappers, and because Drago wants to enslave all dragons. That's basically all his plans, and Eret even mentions, if I don't come back with a dragon, I'm gonna basically get tortured. Which I really think really shows, like, I'm really happy they didn't just make him a bad guy, because they could have just made him a bad guy, even if he's like a secondary. They could have went all villain with him, but then Stoic gets ready for Bert to go to war. Hiccup tries to stop his father from going to war and tries to say, I can maybe talk to the guy, but he doesn't want to, like, kind of doesn't. So basically, the situation was, we learned the backstory of Drago, that he promised protection for Burke from dragons if they basically pledged allegiance to him. They refused, and the entire village but Stoic was killed. And it's a very tragic story. Like, I really think that's a good introduction to him. Side point, I was looking at Reddit. I should expect retardation for Reddit, but fuck it. Because sometimes I look at like the movie side of Reddit. Because the movie side of Reddit, you'll get retardation, but sometimes you just get people's genuine opinions on the movie. So that's why sometimes I'll look there. Because I do the same thing with YouTube and all that. And I saw a very dumb take, because Drago, I guess, isn't white. I saw a thread where it was like, oh, this movie's good, but it doesn't age well because the villain's not white, and it's about a village trying to protect, I guess it's white people from a minority. It's fucking retarded. It's like, God forbid you have minority villains and it's a Viking world. That is, if anything's gonna be uber white, it is gonna be Vikings. It's gonna be, when I think Scandinavia, Norway, any Nordic country in general, that is fucking white. So I'm not like, oh, I need to see representation. It's stupid. I hate thinking about this shit, because this is just a great film, and thinking about that shit, it's weird to me, man. Like, yeah, there are white people in Pocahontas, but you look at Pocahontas, that was about Native Americans largely. John Smith was the only like real white protagonist. The rest of them were villains, pretty much. So most of the real characters you dealt with were white. I mean, were Native American. Sorry. I think there was a Native American antagonist. I have not watched Pocahontas in a long time, but anyway. So he tries to fly to talk with Drago. He even fake offers to um Eret to be prisoner so he can meet with Drago. This is where we meet Valka, who is Hiccup's mother, who explains she couldn't kill a dragon because she saw a dragon with her son, but she thought the dragon was actually trying to attack her son, but it turns out the dragon's actually playing with her son, so she couldn't bring herself to kill it. So, and she rescues them from Drago, and she made her own little dragon kind of getaway, which was pretty nice. I thought that was a pretty nice looking, I don't want to call it a set, but like very like nice area, nice design, you know. I really loved, and even the design of her own dragon was very well done. And so this is where Stoic and Astrid and the other dragon riders force them to find Drago, and it turns out they find Valka. And this is the scene where Stoic sees Valka for the first time is so fucking well done. It is like you think he's gonna be mad, or they even build her. She even starts building it up like, "Are you gonna be mad?" And it's like, just he's just happy to see her. It's just nice, you know, because it's just nice to see like genuine love in a film. Like, 'cause, like I'm not like an uber romantic, you know, because there are a lot of times I can just be like, "Fuck off with the romance," but when it's done well and you could tell like characters genuinely love each other, I'm not gonna lie, it gets me. Like Rocky and fucking Adrian, man, you know, Evie and fucking Rick from the Mummy movie. That's another example. Maybe like fucking Valentine's Day or something. I'll do like best movie couples or something. I don't know why I've not done that as a video yet, but yeah, and so they think they're gonna find Valka, but it turns out they find Drago, and he captures them. And I'm not gonna lie, Drago's introduction in the film is pretty badass, and he has a badass look. He has his own dragon. It's like this frost dragon. It shoots like ice breath. I really wonder if Godzilla. I hate to say, I wonder if Godzilla X Kong Shima, they got a lot of that from this dragon in this film, because there's a similar ice breath attack that I'm not gonna lie looks kind of identical. Now watching the movie, I wasn't even thinking about it watching the movie at the time, and so it's called the Bewilder Beast. So and this is where we get the scene where Hiccup meets Drago, and this is where we meet the Bewilder Beast. It kills an alpha and becomes the new alpha. I really love that stuff. Like, and maybe it's just because I like animals in that aspect where animals challenge each other to become like the leader of the pack. I do like that shit. I know it is hard to watch sometimes when these animals just kill each other, but I don't know. There's like a part of it that's just like, man, the nature world is pretty interesting in that sense. So, and Seas controls the dragons. Hiccup really, I think, really shows. I really love the growth as a character. You could tell he is a leader, like his father. You could tell, especially in this movie, they really show it. You know, I think that's, and I should have probably mentioned that earlier when I was talking about it, but I really love that they do show the growth that he can become a leader. He doesn't just feel like, oh, he's just his father's son and that's it. But, and he becomes um, Drago refuses, and pretty much we get a fight scene. So his father ends up dying, which is pretty tragic. And I'm not gonna lie, I was wondering, am I gonna hate this? Because I do like the character, and we were just introduced him in the first movie. But I'm like, you know what? I thought it was well done. And the moment where Hiccup's like, "Go away, Toothless," and that's when Toothless, obviously, the Drago seizes control of Toothless, and unfortunately, Drago has control of a lot of the dragons. And I think that's what makes a good villain, is where there's a moment where he has a moment where he almost like looks like he's gonna win. Because there's nothing wrong with, obviously, because ultimately we all know in a lot of these kind of movies, the hero's gonna seize the day. But there's nothing wrong with showing the moment where the villain looks like he has a chance of winning. Because there's always that moment where the hero has to come back from adversity. I mean, even though it's not necessarily, because I don't look at fucking Clubber Lang as a villain in the same sense as Drago, but fucking Clubber Lang in Rocky 3. Rocky had to come back. He lost that first fight and he had to come back. Even Rocky, Apollo to an extent in the first movie when he had to come back and win in the second. But I think Clubber Lang's a better example because Rocky straight up loses. Because you can almost argue Rocky won in the sense of, because even Apollo acknowledges I didn't really beat him, whereas straight up Clubber Lang beat Rocky. He did. So, and Rocky had to come back. So I love that moment in the film where the hero looks like he has gonna. Even when Spider-Man first fought Green Goblin in Spider-Man 1, Green Goblin kind of kicked his ass a couple of those times, and he had to come back and win. It just you love that moment when the hero gets his comeback. And Drago is taking control of all the dragons, and I really love that moment where I guess we could just kind of jump to the end where all the dragon, we get all the dragons together, and we get kind of the final face off with their dragons versus fucking Drago's dragons is a really very well done fight. And man, the moment where Toothless manages to regain take back control of Toothless is so well done, and Toothless like starts remembering the memories. It's so well done, and it hits. And I can imagine you're first watching this movie at the time in the theater, and Toothless is like remembering all the moments, even though it's just from the one movie. That's what really works too. You have that kind of moment where it's like all the memories, even though it's just one movie, and then the second one, like a lot of the second one, and he remembers and he regains control of Toothless and a lot of the other dragons, and the Bewilderbeast initially seemingly takes out Toothless by encasing them in ice, but then Toothless breaks out, and I love that moment. He's almost like Uber. He gets a power up. It's so well done. I love like the kind of new design they give. Not a new design, but they give him like this purple like streak because it's like the energy. I really love that look for him, and it really works. I thought this was pretty badass, and I'm like, man, this would have really hit in the theater. And yeah, I gotta say it, man. This is a great series, and the characters all coming back, coming together. And at this point, the Bewilderbeast can't control him anymore, and the other dragons start siding with Toothless. Big fight scene in the end, and they all take out no, they don't take out the Bewilderbeast, but it kind of scurries off with Drago, and the left tusk is taken out, and it realizes it's defeated, so they flee, and they celebrate their victory. Hiccup is made chieftain of Berk, and Toothless becomes the new alpha, which I'm not gonna lie, that was cool to see. And pretty much Hiccup just kind of celebrates the victory. That's kind of the end of the movie, really. And yeah, guys, I really am happy I decided to do this series because it really hit. And the second one is pretty emotional. Stoic's death and the moment where he kind of has with his father, the funeral scene is so sad. I'm not gonna lie, that hit. That really, I didn't think they were gonna do it, but they did it, and I'm kind of wondering because I have a feeling he's gonna somehow be part of the third one because they're not gonna just not mention him. I'm wondering if it's gonna be some kind of memory, some flashbacks, some stuff like that. So that's gonna be good to see. And yeah, man, I'm okay with them what they did. I thought it was well done. So if you get the emotion right, I'm okay with you pulling off the death. Even if I would love to see more of that character, but if the emotion hit and you get the emotion out of it, at the end of the day, you did the right thing. So, and Hiccup's growth, Astrid's growth, the new characters, Even like characters like fucking, Snotlout, who's like a kind of like a comedian side character, was kind of grew, and the connection with even some of the newer characters. Eret eventually gets his own dragon. That was cool. And becomes part of Burke. That was cool. I love his growth. And the Bewilderbeast was a cool kind of dragon antagonist. Drago was a good villain. And I like that. Well, not necessarily you're not going to kill him because, I guess, and it is a kid's movie in that sense. And they're not going to just straight up kill him. But I like that he retreats, so maybe they could use him again. I don't know if they're gonna use him in the third one. I'm not gonna look up or look up anything previously or anything like that. I'm just gonna go in blind on that. So we'll see. But I would not mind him if he came back because I actually really did dig him as a villain. So 9 out of 10 movie. I really like this. I definitely enjoyed it, and I really regret not seeing these in theaters. And the animation's great, and you could tell, like even with the time jump, the animation 4 years later is definitely much better. Like the animation definitely stepped up. So the third one comes out in 2019, so the animation's definitely going to be really good. So I'm looking forward to the third one, honestly. So but yeah, guys, yeah. So tomorrow I'll be doing National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I've seen this movie a couple of times. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember definitely love watching it during Christmas. So, and I want to see if I want to re-add it to my Christmas list. So, yeah, gonna be watching that tomorrow. Not really. I'm gonna keep saying it, guys. I'm not looking forward to Friday. Superman Returns. It's just the suit was good, but and Brandon Routh, I think if they gave him something to work with, same with Kevin Spacey, whatever. I'm just gonna disregard what he did in real life, but I really do think he could have been. If they let him be comic Lex, they let Brandon Routh be more like comic Superman and not like R.I.P. Christopher Reeve. And I know he died 2 years before this movie came out. But trying to force it to be tied with the Donner movies, if anything, I feel like this kind of shit on the legacy. And the more I think about it, it's like kind of like a Force Awakens. It really was just, it's kind of a remake of Superman the movie, minus the like reverse time thing. But like the moment where he gets stabbed with kryptonite kind of reminds me when he gets the kryptonite like necklace. You had the scene where instead of a helicopter, it's a plane, and even has the line about flying. It's kind of paced the same way as Superman 1. He shows off his powers, he's reintroduced. Even the way he kind of becomes Superman is almost similar. Not becomes Superman, but becomes like you kind of see his flashbacks. You see the scene where he's about to like rip off the shirt is almost similar to how he does it in the original. It's, yeah, man, even Lex's plan is similar. It's still a real estate plan. It's like, come on, man. I'll be ripping that to shreds on Friday. At least Superman 4 was just memeable. This was just shit. So, but anyways, guys, I really liked How to Train a Dragon 2. I cannot wait for the third one. So that's gonna be fun to do that this week. So, but other than that, guys, I am gonna be wrapping it here. We will be recording something for Pin Down Podcast this Thursday, which will be released on Saturday before Saturday night's main event. So subscribe and yeah. But other than that, guys, I will be calling it here. All right, y'all. I'll be talking to y'all tomorrow. Peace.